Hey, it's Rachel with Usborne Books and More. Let's talk fiction books. We have quite a variety of them, and we start them as itty bitties already. Bring this one along in your stroller. You can bring it in a diaper bag, even as you're grocery shopping. It comes with a little handy holder here. So already they're starting to see bright illustrations and something that's kind of fun to do even when you're out and about. As they start getting a little bit bigger and getting into tummy time, take a look. We've got black and white illustrations on the front and the basic concepts of what the picture is, the animal is, and the word. So starting them young and then colorful on the back, but already they're starting to see that books are not something to be afraid of, they are something to be enjoyed. Getting a little bit older, we have the My Little Red Penguin series. There's one, this is the first one of, there's 4 in the series. So colors, words, shapes, and golly, I can't remember the other one. Anyway, but you can see something fun to look at and interactive still with the flaps. They're very sturdy, don't worry. If you do have to take advantage, though, a book gets loved a little too much, take advantage of the 50% off replacement policy. We can explain more of that to you. If you have a kiddo that's starting to get into textures then and wants to learn those great adjectives, that's not my series. There are about 30. That's not my hedgehog. There's a little mouse that goes around in each page, and you can see the textures are there explaining why each of these animals is not his, until you get to the very end where he reveals which one actually is his. So whether it's fox or hedgehog or squirrel or mermaid or whatever it may be, they're here. And again, a great introduction to adjectives already at a young age. Moving right along, if you have someone who likes fairy tales, Usborne has done a great job of taking these books and making them just beautiful. These gorgeous fairy tale books, you can see the cutouts that are there, all right, and the illustrations still throughout, and just a great something to carry around and bring with you as you go. If you have a kiddo who prefers reading in bed, this is a great new title. 10-minute stories, anything from Beauty and the Beast to Pinocchio to Why is the Sea Salty? Fun little whimsical stories throughout, and great ones to read, even just as read-alouds if you don't want to wait till bedtime. If, however, you happen to have a kiddo who likes lots of picture books, there are so many from which to choose. Something as sweet as I Love You Animally, which focuses on adverbs and sweet illustrations kind of throughout. Okay, to another sweet bedtime, but a smaller one, B is for bedtime books, to then kind of some more that are more active and rhythmic, like Dan the Taxi Man. The author Eric Odie has a new great one, Too Many Tomatoes. So great picture books too, where you can see the illustrations are just fun, gives you something great to talk about as well, and going throughout how you plant tomatoes, give them away, grow them, cultivate them, things you can do with tomatoes, etc. Okay? If you have kiddos who, as they start getting older, start asking lots of questions, I highly recommend this book, I Want to Be. There's another one in this series, and they'll probably be coming out with more. But these are strong, thicker pages, so don't worry about them getting their hands on it and getting into it, but kind of just cute little things that you wouldn't necessarily think about. A pet groomer, okay? Maybe a dog walker, an exotic bird breeder. So these are great little things you can start talking about already as they're little, just thinking about what they want to be when they grow up and encouraging that to continue to discover and think more about what they want to be. As they continue to ask more questions, this is a fun one. You are given these cute little characters here, and on every page there is a new question. And they have to identify how the animals have changed. What is different about them pertaining to the question? So that's a fun new title. All right. If you have the Shine-a-Light books that you really like, this one is good concepts that are being introduced. And then as you shine the light behind, a picture actually is revealed behind. So there are a number in this series, a number of books in this series here. This is the newest on the space station. They also have on an airplane, on the construction site, on the train, and then of course Secrets of. And they've got apple tree, seashore, vegetable garden. Now, the next series I want to talk to you about is the illustrated series. They have come out with this new beautiful one. It's hardcover, and this is for the itty bitties already starting. You could do a letter a day. You could sit and just on the lap and have fun times just talking about the beautiful illustrations throughout, the sounds that they hear. But then as they start progressing and getting older, we have some great ones like this, Illustrated Stories of the World. You can see the picture to text ratio that's there, not too overwhelming. Still, the illustrations are catchy, but the stories are not too long, so they can still sit and enjoy them. But then we progress into Illustrated for Olders. This is the Illustrated Classics. You've got Don Quixote in here. You've got Robinson Crusoe. So these stories, and they're not something to be afraid to read. So they were already starting this concept at a younger age so that when they get into older reading and actually the unabridged, they'll be familiar with what's there. If you have chapter book lovers, let me introduce just a couple of them to you. If you're familiar with our Billy B and our Hey Jack, all right, these are for the youngest who are just starting to read and get into chapter books, all right? These two are best of friends, and you'll see that they actually go on new adventures in these new series, Billy's Adventures here. And the text here, a little bit more advanced, but still same characters, so they're familiar with it. Moving on, we have these great new ones, EJ12, Fairy Ponies. You can see the text inside. And we've got Secret Mermaid. Great for 2nd, 3rd, going up to 4th grade. If you have a reluctant reader, I suggest Wheel Nuts. This is a great one. It's more like a graphic novel, and they are colorful illustrations inside. So this is great for those reluctant readers. 3 new ones in the series. If you like kiddos who like true stories, take a look for our older audiences going throughout. More adventure and true. And then for our older audiences, our 2 new releases, we've got Impossible Quest and then Sword of Kurumori. So these are great ones. If you have questions about them, please don't hesitate to ask. But as you can see, fiction for all ages.